Hey guys, it's Amber, and I am getting started on my last 2 days of the album, which is really one full vacation day and then a travel day. So the last day is really only one 12 by 12 page. So what I have here is some pictures of when I was wandering around the hotel. I was trying to make sure that I got in some photos before we left of some areas we hadn't explored, and I just wanted to see the scenery and the foliage and everything. So just getting the pictures into place here. And I had thought about pulling out the 2020 collection of 3x8 papers with the green topographic map, but it just ended up being like way too much green. So you'll see here that I'm trimming it in half, and that I decide to use another piece of, I guess, grid pattern paper from the same collection. I had already used another piece earlier in the album, but I end up swapping them both out for the pink colors of the exact same patterns. One spot just for a filler card and a place to add on a little bit of embellishment, and the other one for journaling. And here I'm showing you the full screenshot of what the page ends up looking like. But as with all pages that I've been working on in this album, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. So I'm getting ready to start the back of that page, and I haven't even officially finished the first side, but that was as good as place as any to add, the full page. So later that day, we went back out. We rented another boat to sail on Lake Como, and this time we had 4 friends come with us. And side note, just showing you how I store my page protectors. I keep them in 12 by 12 albums from Becky Higgins. Just really helps with keeping them straight and organized. I have like 4 albums filled with page protectors. So back to this particular layout, I'm getting the photos aligned of our group. And one thing I started to realize as I was going through it is that I didn't have quite enough photos printed. So I ended up going back into my photos for the day and selecting 2 more 4x6s and 2 more 3x4s, if I'm remembering correctly. And then I also printed out the enlargements that I had saved or thought, planned to print out for that day. So in this instance, just kind of showing you how I plotted 4 photos onto one 13 by 19. I have 3 4x6s. So I guess I needed 3, not 2. And one 12 by 12. And on the other side, I have a 12 by 12, 2 3x4s, and a 3x4 digital card from the same July 2017 Stories by the Month kit that I've used so much in this album. So leaving you with a close-up here, added the digital art in ahead of time before printing, and then added the puffy geotags, which has been my signature look this whole album. And then now I'm getting ready to add some color. So I have this Bella Boulevard paper that I also used when we were swimming 2 or 3 layouts back. And I have that Go Jump in the Lake card, which I really liked and wanted to use, but it ended up not going with the rest of the flow of the layout. It was a little too green, and I ended up going with more brighter blues, trying to pull the blues of the sea out, or the lake, I mean. So I I cut 2 3x4s down, one with the floral and one with the back, which is like a dark blue polka dot. But even that ended up being too dark. So I swapped the polka dot side back around so that I have 2 florals helping to span the page. And then I looked in my digital cards again, and I found one that was a bonus digital freebie from Allie. I'm not even sure when. It might still be available on her blog, that said Best Adventure. And what it was like different color versions of cards she had already come out with. So it ends up being like a hot orange and pink digital word art, and then I added some digital journaling to it, and you can see there I added a wood veneer over some blue polka dot paper. And there's the card with the journaling. And this page is really simple. I added just a couple of word phrase stickers and one little chipboard that said Summer Vibes from a Studio Calico kit. So on the back of that layout is us going to dinner with some more of those friends who we were hanging out with quite a bit on this trip. There was a big group of 36 of us, and we really only saw the same like 6 to 8 people, except for like in the evenings when we would hang out like at the hotel bar. So there you can see another shot of a different album that I have stored all my page protectors in, because this time I want to grab the all 4x6 layout. So I did this back for our group dinner photos in a different video where I have like 4 pictures on one side, 3 pictures on another, and a see-through pocket. And the reason I like doing this is it's fun playing with the see-through pockets, but also like it gives you only like one filler card. If I tried to force all 3x4s with no content, it would just be that. It would be forced. So it's easier just to find 4x6. So as always, it's Italy, and we thoroughly enjoy trying all the food. So I have food photos from like every course of this meal. And we had a really good time with our friends at this restaurant. The food was good, and we got there. It was super, I think we were the only ones in the restaurant. And by the time we left, it was like filled to capacity. And we just had a good night. It was our last night. So you can see here, I'm kind of jumping back to the beginning again now that I've gotten all my photos placed. And I'm starting with our breakfast photos from that day. And that is a pattern paper from Simple Stories. They had like a travel simple set. And so I just really liked the colors of it. And that breakfast card was from Kelly Perky. So what I decided to do here is move one of the photos of myself over and add this card. I believe it's from the tech kit, and it says do more of what makes you forget to look at your phone. And it's black and pink, which is perfect for the photos. I'm wearing black dress and the flowers are pink. And so I'm just kind of deciding on balance here. So it's kind of hard to describe what I'm thinking, but the black card on the top just felt too heavy. So I pulled it back down to the bottom. And then I'm just kind of flipping through my cards there. That particular layout was really fun to work on because it had lots of really bright colors. And here I'm just adding a simple tag because this is French toast with a scoop of vanilla gelato on top, which was as incredible as it sounds. Like, it's just something you would only get in Italy and nowhere else. So I'm leaving you here with a close-up of the photos. I used the 3x4 Glowed Transparency from the 2019 kit as a see-through pocket. And these are just some more photos taken around the hotel grounds. And then I'm working on the last page of the album. This is kind of an interesting series of photos because I don't really have any photos of us in the airport or flying home, which I usually take. I must have just been too tired to take them, or my boyfriend said no, which happens on occasion. But I did take some pictures of like we finally moved the car up near the hotel room we were staying in. For the rest of the time, it was in a parking garage on the hotel grounds. But we pulled it up nice and close so we could load our bags easily. And it was just a few more shots around the room and the hotel. And then the pictures on the back show us getting gas, which was quite a trip in a foreign country because all the gas stations we found were closed or they were cash only, and we had to fill it up before we returned it. This was our first time ever renting a car in a foreign country. It was really a trip. So I have a picture of like what the gas station looked like and my boyfriend filling the car. And I have our plane tickets and our baggage tags and our flight info, but I don't actually have any flight pictures. So I'm using the coming home card from the 2019 collection. I'm using the car and the plane transparencies from those same collections. And there you see I'm sliding in sideways. I had printed basically a screenshot of our flight info, but it was a vertical, and I have no other vertical photos here. In a 3x4, the font would have been way too tiny. So instead of throwing it away, I decided just to leave it turned on its side, use it like a background paper, and just kind of cover the details with our tickets and stuff. And I thought that was actually kind of a creative, fun way to use it. So right there, I was just trying to decide if I wanted to use the coming home on the back or the front of the layout. I decided to keep it on the back. The front has a card from the Journey kit with the pink heart that has a quote about going home. And I'm just considering apologize, I'm yawning. I'm considering some chipboard pieces from the 2019 collection. Opted not to use any. I might go back and change my mind, but for the time being, I was just trying to get this done. So here I am building that 4x6 layout using, it was like a strip, I guess, that was put on our suitcases. So I'm just using it like it is like washi tape or an embellishment. So I'm cutting off the side that says Alitalia, and then I'm going to use another little part that says like Sky something and has a little logo on the other side underneath the bag tags. I just like saving that kind of stuff because they have the date and the destination of where we're headed. And I never have like a really nice printout of our tickets because like we're at a hotel. Like I could have tried to print them, but it's different than when you're going on a trip because you can't print your tickets until you know, it's the day before you have to leave. So all we had were little stubs. So here I'm showing you that I had to redo my itinerary, which was from like one of the first process videos. I realized on like the second or third day that I had accidentally combined days 1 and 2, and therefore all my dates and details of everything else were messed up. Because the first day was literally drive to the airport, fly out, because it was an overnight flight. Second day was all the next details, and so I'm glad I figured it out. I thought the whole time I worked on the album about not redoing it, but then it was just bugging me too much. So I reprinted it in more of a navy blue instead of that darker rust coral color because it ended up not being in the same position I had originally planned it. So I was able to remove all the wooden pieces, nothing broke. I was able to remove the die cut and the chipboard really easily. And I only had to add one more wooden piece. So I added a little sun for the day that we went swimming, and then just put all the rest back in the same places where they were. And I was really happy that I was able to like reuse everything and get the itineraries reset up. So that made me really happy. And there they are side by side and a little bit of a close-up shot as well. So the font that I've been using throughout the album is Eleveth, Eleveth, and it's a paid font. You cannot find it free, but it's one that Allie uses a lot in her cards. So I bit the bullet and invested because I really like the way the font looks, and I've used it in multiple albums. So here I am turning the map clear die cuts from the 2018 travel collection into hexagons. They are 3-inch circles. I had 2 of them in that size, and the other 2 I believe are like 2.5 or 2 inches. And I used some scrap paper to help me get it to the right size, and I could have left it as a circle, but I thought it would be fun to turn it into a hexagon just for something a little different. And I had 2 places in the album where I needed some filler paper and not another enlargement, just to give your eyes a resting place. So I picked this pink map paper, which is brand new from Kaiser Craft. It's their Lily and Moss collection. And these maps are like a greenish pink color, so it looked really cool. I thought about backing it on white so it really popped, but it actually looked way prettier when everything was see-through. So I had a map on a map, and then I'm using 2 of the hexagon pleather pieces from the Week in the Life collection. One says like our trip so far, our day so far, something like that. And the other one was I'm not sure which one to use. Something about details maybe, or seeing beauty around you. The great thing about Allie Edwards products is you can use them anywhere. So I thought that these 2 pages came out really fun. And I have just a little bit of a close-up here. It's not the full 12 by 12 sheet. So there's our story so far. And then for the second one, I looked through all my pattern papers. This is an older one that I just needed to use up, and it worked well with the photos that it was going next to, which were of the water. So even though they were both world maps, I actually liked the fact that it was kind of similar in both design and style and had just some consistency. So here you can see I'm doing the same thing again, where I'm actually using rolling dot adhesive to temporarily attach it to the paper, trimming just little simple lines off of each side, and then using more rolling dot adhesive in the center, which will then be covered up by the pleather piece, which I love these. They make such cool embellishments. They're just as thick as chipboard, but it's a different kind of texture and not as thick as rubber, which is one of the reasons why I really like them. I thought about putting them on the outside of the page protector, but everything else in this album is on the inside, so I decided not to do that. I'm just getting the backing peeled off and using my paper piercer to help me place it. The nice thing about picking these maps is they had grid lines, so I was able to get these pretty well centered. I'm fairly good at eyeballing things up, but I wanted these to be like smack in the center. And then leaving you with one more close-up, and hope that I am inspiring you to use your travel products. Don't save them, and I can't wait to share a full walkthrough soon. Thanks so much. Bye.